Welcome to the In My 30s podcast, episode number 2 with Clayton Johnson.
Howdy.
Thanks for coming.
Is that why you invited me? Because I'm in my 30s?
I honestly put that together after.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think, but then I was like, great.
Yeah, perfect. It works out.
But not everyone who's on the podcast needs to be in their 30s.
Okay, that's what I was going to clarify.
Yeah, for now, this is on brand. And this is
I love it.
I should give you one of my 30s necklaces. I'm sure you
Do you have one? Oh, goodness gracious.
You can wear it.
Age me.
Yeah, but I think actually we're the same age. Which
We're not going to say it.
Admit.
Just
we're not
whisper
going
it.
to admit it, yeah. Oh, no.
Oh.
I thought you were my age. I'm older than you.
Oh, let's go. Oh, yes. I'm just a young buck.
So I need to review my notes here because... Okay.
Well, Emma, how did you meet?
Well, so that's where I was going to start.
Okay.
So I thought we met through a friend, but then I think maybe we met on a dating app.
Oh, I've been seeing you around the apps the last few years.
Definitely.
I think that might be how we connected or maybe followed each other on Instagram or something. But I'm a big fan of your music and stuff too. So
Thank you.
Definitely down the pipeline. And then obviously coming out to Nashville, we got to connect out here too. So, dude, are the apps working for you? Because I've had zero luck out here.
I've had 2 really solid relationships.
Oh, that's good.
From Hinge.
For me too, like we're, in our 30s.
Yeah.
This is where you put it right here, the logo right here.
Oh, yeah, the logo and the
logo
sun.
in your 30s.
In my 30s.
It's tough too because a lot of the times the girls that I've connected with on Hinge or Raya are usually just here for the weekend. Like they're here like just visiting.
Yes.
And then they dip out, and I'm a little bit past the like just hanging out for the weekend type of thing, you know what I mean? So it's been a struggle, but also, when you're focused on work and music stuff, it makes it hard to really give the time and attention into a relationship. But
That's like a hard no for me because what I've noticed, especially living downtown, which you are downtown basically too, a lot of people are in town for like a night.
Yeah,
and they're
crazy.
like, do you want to meet up tonight? I'm like, absolutely not.
It's great. Do you have people hit you up all the time too? Like last summer, I was like a hostel. People were staying with me every single weekend.
Oh my God.
People were always hitting me up during CMA Fest or just throughout the summer for places to stay. Friends, yes, friends and family. But definitely not. But I felt like a hostel. People were just hitting me up all the time to just have a place to stay.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like Nashville's awesome. I love it here.
So I try to avoid that at all costs. I have this tiny apartment. Are you in a 1-bed?
I am. I'm in I would say a larger 1-bed.
Yeah,
and it's me and my son. I told you about him.
No.
Yeah, he's almost 10. It's crazy. It's a dog. His name is Oliver. I got him 10 years ago.
Literally? I thought you were serious.
Got you. Yeah,
and I was like, no judgment at all.
That's my line. Nope, he's a fur baby.
Okay.
Rescued him 10 years ago. He was found at Conway Studios in LA, like a famous studio out there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he's been with me for 10 years. So little Oliver, shout out Oliver if you're watching this.
Where can everyone go follow him?
Oh, he does have an Instagram. The pup named Ollie is his Instagram. He's got some really cute photos.
Amazing.
Check him out. But yeah, it's just the 2 of us, and we love it. We got a nice little river view and kind of tucked away. So away from the craziness, but still close enough to get to sessions and Music Row and the whole thing too. But
maybe I'll check out your building.
Anytime.
I'm leaving here.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
We've had a lot of hiccups.
Yeah. It's been great. No complaints other than construction. But I feel like it's everywhere in Nashville right now.
Yeah.
Is construction everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, so it gets kind of loud.
No, not loud, but just sometimes with traffic every once in a while.
Oh, funny. Okay.
Yeah, because we're kind of like a cul-de-sac-ish where it's like we're the end of a street.
Yeah.
So if there is any type of construction right there, sometimes they, one way and they let cars go by and the whole thing. But I don't hear any noise, which is nice.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I love where you live.
Yeah.
We don't want to tell people where you live.
No, but I
love
love
your
my
neighborhood.
area. Yeah, me
your
too.
area is great.
Yeah, I love it.
I feel like that's a good spot for people in our
Totally.
age and like single and not having children.
And this is so funny because people laugh at me, but I never lived in an apartment before.
Yeah.
I'd always had a house before this.
Okay.
And I know it sounds silly, but I really wanted to experience what it was like to have an apartment.
Yeah.
Having the amenities and being able to call somebody if something was broken, just to kind of have that luxury. And it's been great. Like, because I know after this, most likely I'll go back to having a house.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to experience that apartment life briefly.
Yeah.
And it's been great. I'm glad I did it. And
especially
hopefully,
downtown in Nashville.
Yeah, totally. Everything's walkable. Like living in a house before, like, you got to walk a mile to get to a bar or grocery store or anything. Where I'm at, you just walk out and there's restaurants right in front of you, breweries, things to do, so much stuff. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, I moved into a house in Green Hills and then out of there and moved in here because I just wanted to be close to my gigs and stuff.
Totally.
So, and I can literally walk. So that's why, I mean, not totally why, but that's a big reason why I'm down here. So
yeah, I love it.
But this building has had a lot of issues for me in this unit. You can't see today, but
I've heard a lot of apartment horror stories, and I'm knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
I haven't had any issues with my building or had anything go bad or anything like that. So hopefully it stays that way. But we'll see.
Yes, hopefully it does. Okay, so my brain is like firing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Because we have never really hung out other than that one
No,
party
I think we've ran into each other out and about at probably like writers' rounds and parties and things like that, which is so crazy, but meant a lot that you asked me. Which episode is this?
Number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Thank you for thinking of me. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for saying yes. It's
oh my
actually
gosh.
hard to get people to say yes.
That's crazy.
So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I need to like offer some sort of payment or something. Maybe
You did offer a free coffee, which is pretty nice.
But maybe I'll get you like a gift card somewhere you like, or
you don't have to do that, but I'll let you take me for a margarita if you want, bar taco style.
If I start getting sponsors, you will receive payment.
Great, perfect, thank you.
But okay, I want to start before we get into your new releases and stuff.
Yeah.
I did some Googling.
Okay.
And we haven't hung out.
Find anything good?
Really. So this is me getting to know you, but and I love being able to Google people.
Yeah.
So I want to start with like how you started, and I read that you were in a band with your brothers, and you guys started this YouTube channel that went viral.
Yeah. So I grew up playing in church, in a worship band, and learning guitar. My dad was really musical, and my brothers. I have 2 brothers, and we all shared a 1-bedroom until I was like 13. Oh my gosh. And we didn't know any difference. Like we had like a trundle bed and a bunk bed, and the 3 of us shared. It was like a slumber party every night. We had the best time. And once I started hitting like 13, that's really when like the pop punk scene was really taking off. Warped Tour was so huge. Really got into skateboarding, things like that. So I kind of not ran away or rebelled, but kind of got away from country music and the stuff that I grew up on, and really dove in head first to like pop punk music.
Got it.
The Blink-182s, the Green Days. If you're a real emo fan, like Taking Back Sunday and bands like that.
Did
I just
you
loved.
follow All Time Low? And all
Yeah,
that?
I toured with them eventually, which is crazy too. We did.
I grew up with them.
like-
That's why I mentioned them.
Like with them or
high
like
school.
listening to them? Oh, you did in
went to
Baltimore.
school, well, the bass player went to school with me, and then their other band members
Crazy.
went. And I was just on a
Zach,
flight.
yeah.
I was just on a flight with the lead singer Alex.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I was really got into pop punk music. Really liked it a lot. This is kind of a crazy story for you too. So I joined a band that was on MySpace. I'd never met them. They were in Dallas. Flew out, joined the band, toured with them for about a year. And along my journeys, I met this guy named Jeffree Star, who at the time, now he's a massive, he's always been like a makeup guy.
Like I know
but
that name.
at the time he was doing music. And we met, and my band ended up breaking up from Dallas. And he's like, hey, my band is starting their own band. I would love for you to come play guitar for me if you're down. I'll bring you out to LA and play guitar for me. So I was like, let's do it. Flew out to LA. Jeffree was so nice. It just didn't work out for me to play with him. And that's how I kind of landed in LA. And then I started doing like background guitar playing and things like that. Ended up joining this band on Columbia Records. And one of the tours we did, which was an insane lineup in hindsight, it was us, All Time Low, Third Eye Blind, Hanson, Good Charlotte, LMFAO. I might be missing somebody else, but it was a really random. It was like the Bamboozle Roadshow tour, and that was so stinking cool. So through that, I became really good friends with the All Time Low dudes. Like spent a lot of time with them in LA. We had a flag football league in LA that I put together, the NHFFL we called it, the North Hollywood Flag Football League, and we had like the 5 Seconds of Summer guys would come play with us, the 21 Pilots dudes. It was like an emo like football league. It was so much fun.
That's so
but
fun.
to this day, like I love those guys, watch a lot of football with them, and they're great. So
I know a lot of people that know them. I really only know Zach well. Like even when I was on the flight, I was like, I don't think Alex knows me.
yeah.
And I
That's
was in
crazy. I went to the
sweatpants,
same
and I
high
was
school.
Like, I went to the same high school as Zach.
Oh, it's such a
And
small world.
His parents like come to my shows sometimes.
Yeah,
His
that's so
parents are
sweet.
so sweet. He's so sweet. And I haven't seen him in forever, but if I saw him, it'd be like no time has passed, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know the rest of the band, but they kind of went to like a rival high school where we played field hockey and all that.
Yeah, I don't even know what field hockey is. So
Do you really not?
I don't know if we have that on the West Coast, at least where I grew up. Like lacrosse was a big thing on the East Coast too.
Yes.
I never even saw that until like recently, what that even looked like.
That's so funny.
We're like football, baseball, the real sports, you know.
Field hockey. So I was a basketball player and I stopped growing.
Okay.
And like I made my high school JV basketball team, which was like a big deal as a point guard. And then I was benched the entire season. And my heart was broken because it was like my dream. And then I found field hockey, which like you're low to the ground.
I literally don't know what it looks like or
so
how
fun.
you play it.
It's like a wooden stick.
Okay, so it's like hockey.
It's hockey, but a wooden stick on grass.
Okay, so you run instead of skate.
Yes, you run.
Okay, hence the name field hockey.
Yes. It's
Checks
pretty
out.
badass, honestly.
That checks out. My freshman year, I made the varsity wrestling team.
Okay.
I didn't wrestle before, but I loved football. I still like, obviously we talked about our flag football league. Loved playing football growing up, and to stay in conditioning and just stay in shape, decided to do wrestling during the winter. Made varsity my freshman year, and I ordered like my varsity jacket because I was able to get one as a freshman because I was doing varsity sports.
Yeah.
So I ordered like 3 sizes bigger than me, and I'm 6'3" now. I'm not 6'3". I'm 5'9". On my Tinder it says I'm 6'3".
Does it really?
No, absolutely not. Plus, I don't have Tinder. Is that even still a thing?
We don't. No, I don't do Tinder.
No, I'd rather under-deliver and tell people I'm like 5'5".
100%.
And then when they meet me, they're pleasantly surprised that I'm like 5'9".
Yeah.
You know.
Short kings, though.
Hey, well, I'm an average king, okay? Not short king.
Or average king. Sorry.
All right?
My dad's 5'9".
See?
But
It's a
I
great
have
height.
dated like short guys.
Yeah.
And like, they're the best ones. I actually told my friend who's like 6'2", I was like, I'm only dating short guys from now on. Now I'm not, but like I was because I just had a really positive experience.
Yeah, and I've definitely gone out with girls that have just told me straight up, like, you're awesome. If you were a little bit taller, I would go out with you again. And it's like, damn, if that's a big issue to you, I get it, but I
just
don't
think
really
that's
care.
like a shallow way to live. No offense, girls,
Yep.
but yeah. So this woman I follow, Melissa Wood, she's like a health guru. And she was a model or something. She's like, she has to be 5'11", and her husband is like, I don't know, 5'6" or 7" or something. And they're visually they're an odd pairing, but like they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't discriminate.
Yeah,
like I don't mind.
Anyway,
all that being said, I bought this varsity jacket, thinking, oh, I'm gonna grow so tall by the time I'm a senior.
Yeah.
I didn't grow much bigger. My neck grew a little bit thicker from playing football, but I still have my varsity jacket that's like a size too big for me.
So were your brothers tall?
We're all pretty much the same height. So we're all about 5'9". My mom's 5'1". Okay. My dad's like 5'10" and a half. So we're not super tall, but
same in my family. Everyone's like under 5'9", I guess.
Yeah, crazy.
Wait, so your brothers, you guys started this band after you were on the road with?
Yeah, so like I said, it's kind of crazy. Like we taught ourselves to play our instruments in our rooms together. Like we shared a room, taught ourselves to play guitar, drums. So we basically were always jamming Angels and Airwaves and Blink-182 songs and all the stuff that we like to listen to. And after my band had broken up, the one on Columbia Records, I went to go work with the LMFAO dudes for a little bit and was doing some music with them and writing for them. And my middle brother, his name's Chantry, which is a very unique name. He moved to LA, and so did my youngest brother after he graduated college. And it just kind of made sense organically for us to put out music together. People had always said, you guys all play instruments. We were all in different bands growing up, and we just never did the brothers thing. Yeah. I think because we shared a room for so long, we kind of wanted to have our little independence in high school and have our own things going on. But we just started jamming together, and we started doing covers, and it was so cool because the day a song came out, my youngest brother's a videographer and photographer, so he would film a video that day. My middle brother, Chantry, would do all the production, and I kind of handled all the logistics as far as, all right, we're going to shoot here. I'll do the uploading. I'll do the tagging of the videos, those kind of things. And we got a good following because we'd be the very first video that would pop up after the official video would pop up. Like if somebody released a song. And it wouldn't just be us sitting playing acoustic in a room. It'd actually be pretty high quality, almost music video style quality for some of them. So that was really cool. We had the best time, and we had a little bit of success online and YouTube, and put out a song with Bryce Vine, who's crushing it now, and it was great. We, my youngest brother ended up having a baby with his wife, so that took priority. My middle brother's a songwriter for Disney, and it's so cool because he writes stuff for like inside Disneyland parks. Like He's done the music for the fireworks show over the castle. He did a song for Olivia Rodrigo for High School Musical. He's done a lot of stuff for Disney, so that's been his focus and his shift. And then kind of left me to kind of find my path and what I wanted to do. But it was awesome. So music's always been a huge part of our family. And to this day, like we all still play and jam, and it's been awesome.
It sounds like you were in LA and you got kind of plugged in there. Didn't you play guitar for Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, it was so random. So Sabrina, I played guitar for Sabrina Carpenter for the Disney Music Awards is how we met. And I mean, she was probably... So how
do you get these gigs? Because that's really impressive, and I feel like it sounds like you're a social guy from what I know, but you're really good at like getting into the right places.
It's interesting because in LA, a lot of it was word of mouth. Like even this is full circle to one of my co-producers that just did my EP I'm about to release. I met her at Demi Lovato's 16th birthday party.
Okay, so how did you
Dude, this is so random. Like LA's so random. The entertainment world's so small. I met this girl named Katie Cecil. I don't know if you know Katie. Incredible songwriter. She's just signed to Electric Feel with like Post Malone's publishing company or where he's at. And we met at Demi Lovato's 16th birthday party. She was in an all-girl band at the time called KSM. And I was kind of trying to find my way in LA still. And when this band was being put together by the same people who did like Big Time Rush, she recommended me, and they called me, flew me out for an audition in New York, and that's how I ended up booking the pop punk band that I was in. So it's so crazy that was probably 15, 16 years ago that I did that with Katie, and here we are in Nashville now, and she co-produced and co-wrote almost my entire record.
I saw she was a producer. Yeah. Love that you have a female producer.
Yeah, she's incredible. Like one of the hardest working females I've ever... Screw female, just one of the hardest working artists and producers that I've had the pleasure to work with. She's already crushing it. Shout out Katie. She's already crushing it, but she's like one song away from being like...
Yeah. Is she here?
Yeah, she's here in Nashville. Here. Yep.
Okay, cool.
She's incredible.
I love that.
That's crazy. So, from that journey, I did a little bit of acting stuff too. Did a lot of music videos at the time. Like, I did one for Paris Hilton. I walked into a casting room one time, and Gigi Hadid was sitting in the room, and it was a tiny room about this size. Didn't know she was going to be in there. We didn't know what the project was for. A lot of times they don't tell you that because they want to keep it, on the DL.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, so we want you to pretend like you're a sports reporter, and there's a huge cake dodgeball fight going on, and you're commentating on the cake fight. So I just tried to freestyle something real quick. I did some improv when I was younger and freestyled this thing, and she was busting up laughing. And sure enough, I get a call a couple days later. She booked me to do the gig. At the time, she was dating Joe Jonas, who had started this band called DNCE. So the song was called Cake by the Ocean. And if you end up watching the music video, I introduced the whole music video as like the sports commentator.
I saw a little clip of it.
Did you? It was so cool. And Gigi was so badass. And she directed the music video because I think at the time they were dating.
Yeah.
But it was just such a cool, random experience. So I was doing some acting stuff. I played for Scotty McCreery right after he won American Idol. Did his first music video for a song called I Love You This Big. And was still kind of trying to find my place. I was kind of bouncing around a lot.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Ooh, okay.
And that was kind of, I think for everybody was kind of reevaluating things. And our industry is really tough. You're trying to be a songwriter and trying to do it professionally and getting a little bit older too. Like my goal is to be able to be in a place where I could provide for a family and have a family and give my wife the option if she wants to work or not and have that flexibility and kind of trying to decide what I wanted to do and ended up falling in love. I got engaged during COVID and started going to nursing school. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just like, nursing sounds safe. There's decent money in there. It's a consistent job. Let's just try nursing. So me and my fiance at the time, I would just sit and be working on like bio, math problems and all the classes I was working on for nursing. And she's an artist herself, and she just said, you love country. It's all you listen to. It's all you play. You should be writing stuff just for fun. Like, you don't even need to put it out, but you should be writing your stuff that you love to do. So I took her advice, and this guy named Kevin Bard, this is all intertwined into each other here.
Okay.
But the band I was in on Columbia Records was with this guy named Kevin Bard, who ended up getting into country music and had a couple number ones with Parmalee and with Dan and Shay. And he said, hey, let's write some music for fun.
Yeah.
So we did. wrote a couple songs together, and then through that, like without even looking, of course, that they say that's how it happens. That's when I got my first like couple label offers to like sign a deal as an artist. So I wasn't necessarily like pursuing it or trying to do it.
Yeah.
After 12 years of trying to do it and finally taking a step back, enrolling in nursing school, or at least taking the first steps in nursing school, and then finally getting an opportunity, it was just crazy.
And that was during COVID. You were getting label offers.
Yeah.
That's hard. And
yeah.
Was that like, was that through Kevin or was that through a viral video?
Yeah, it was basically through Kevin. You know, at the time too, I think labels were trying to find artists.
Yeah.
And I think there's a cool level of creativity that came out of COVID as well.
Definitely.
And Kevin basically kind of went to the labels that he had been working with and wrote songs for other artists and said, hey, I have this project, that we have some great songs. I think his voice is really great. And I think this could be something really special. And started taking a few meetings and signed my first little EP deal, and it's kind of taken off from there. So it's crazy.
So that was
the end of 2020 or the start of 2021. So kind of right in that little pocket right there.
And then did you move here during that time?
Yeah. So at the time, I would be coming out here for like months at a time. My best friend lived here, and I would just come stay for weeks at a time, come write, stay for months at a time, come write. But I wasn't here full time yet.
Yeah.
It was really scary for me. I had a house in LA that I loved, had a great deal on, and I didn't want to leave the comfortability of having that space. Yeah. And honestly, one of the last times I came to Nashville before I moved here, I just felt God really be like, hey, you need to do it and you need to trust me. Yeah. And this is where the faith part comes in. Like, you just need to do it. So called my parents, told them how I felt, packed up my car, drove to Nashville. I stayed with my buddy who had a spare bedroom, and within like a month and a half, like I got my first like publishing deal offer, which was just insane because people be here for 15, 20 years without ever getting an offer.
Me.
So it's crazy. So I don't take it lightly at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's timing. The timing was right for you.
Totally. And I mean, you know, I spent years since I was 13 years old writing songs and doing what I loved and grinding and doing all those things. But for it to happen as quickly as it did for me come to Nashville was just like mind blowing. And also like, all right, God, this is why you follow, you know, that little urge that, you know, you feel. And I encourage people to follow that voice. To me, it's the voice of God that's prodding you, or the little whispers that you hear, because it's never failed me anytime I've listened to that. So here I am. So I've been here full time a couple of years now. Yeah. Which has flown by. It's gone by so fast, but I love it here. The people are amazing. The songwriting community is amazing. And it's been a roller coaster, but in the best way possible, for sure.
So that's kind of a good lead in to what you're about to release. You have a big announcement for new music.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so tell us.
I'm so excited. So I've been writing songs, and you know, I ended up signing with this record label called Audio Chateau, and it's with Virgin, they've been an incredible team, and basically working towards my first like EP release. So I've been releasing singles, and I announced today, literally in the car as I was parking, posted my EP cover, posted the track listing, which I'm so excited about. It's called Live to Learn. And really that song in particular, it's just about having to, you know, find some things out the hard way and going through crap. And, but that's what makes everything worth it at the end of the day is going through the crap to get to the good stuff and learning and becoming better. And it really spoke to me, and definitely comes from a place of, you know, I've done a lot of living and I've done a lot of learning, and I feel like it's made me the man I am today. And I think people can relate to it. And the collection of a really bunch of some, as I say, windows down party songs, and then some windows up kind of reflection songs too. But they're true to me. They're true to my story and my journey. And I love having fun. I love people, but I'm also like very spiritual and, you know, love to reflect. And it's kind of a mix of the both. So I'm so excited. It comes out May 30th. Yay. Thank you. I have a EP release show. Okay. May 29th. So if you're around, would love to have you out. It's going to be fun.
Is it public or?
It's public. So there's a limited amount of tickets. So once the tickets are gone, they're gone. Okay. We're playing at the basement, the OG basement.
Amazing.
I love it. It's not too far from here. Nice little intimate space, but we're going to have some little activations and some gift bags and things, and going to try to really make it a really fun, special celebration. So.
Well, I am going to try to be there.
Yeah. May 29th.
I was listening to your music. Obviously it's about a lot of love or dating, etc. But like, Do you have a mode that you feel like you write easier? Because I know for me, it's like heartbreak is sort of, I can write all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's actually coming out of me, you know what I mean? But it's harder for me to write up tempos, but I feel like you actually have a lot of up tempo.
I'm definitely like a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then a lot of my songs too, like, you know, I brought up, you know, I sing about, you know, never having to, there's a love song called Never Have to Say. That's on my record, and it's goodbye, something I'll never have to say. And it's about finding, you know, a perfect person and being married and all these things. And obviously I'm not married, but there are things that I fantasize about and manifest one day, that I find somebody that I'm just so enthralled with and so in love with, that this is what my dream is. So sometimes I write too, not based off of necessarily my personal experience, but what my personal hopes and dreams are for the future for myself too. That. So I kind of a little mix of everything. I've got I'm sure you do too. I've got a running like song ideas in my phone. Yeah. There's probably 200 song ideas in there, and it's really based off of, you know, hearing somebody say something and it clicking and creating an idea for me. But it's different. You know how it is too. Like sometimes you go in and write a song in 20 minutes and it's one of the best songs you've ever written. Other times you go in and you write a song for 12 hours and it just kind of comes out okay. So there's some real magic in songwriting that I don't think you can, you know, just create out of nowhere. But I love the songwriting process. It can be frustrating sometimes because you set yourself to such a high standard. But at the same time, like I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
I just heard Maren Morris talking about her new record, and she did this interview thing that she put in like someone interviewed her almost like a podcast, but not totally.
Not as cool as this one though.
Not a podcast. It was really cool. It was like very stylized and like high production, but
we'll get there.
We do what we
can.
Get there,
yeah.
But she was talking about how she kind of, which I relate to, when she's touring. I'm not necessarily touring right now, but I'm playing a lot. And when she's touring, she was saying she kind of takes a break from writing, and she's going to try to not do that because she gets to the point where she starts to dread writing. Because she's sort of out of practice, but now she's just sort of enjoying the process. And I have to say, like with co-writing, sometimes there's like this dread or fear that I'm not gonna, as she put it, like bring it. And I was like, God, I love that she said that, because she's, you know, had all this success and she even feels that.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing, you know, especially as songwriters. And I think, you know, that's, for me, that's why I find my crew that I love to write with. And I tend to keep going back to them. But I do love writing with new people, but you just never know how people work. You don't know how people will joke back with you. It's like a first date sometimes when you get set up in a session. You've never met them before, or maybe you've met them in a, you know, public sense, but you haven't met them in a work sense. So it's like a first date when you go in sometimes to these writing things, you know, or a writing camp. But I mean, I love the process of it. And when I first moved to Nashville, I was kind of more focused on writing for other artists. I really wanted to dive into the writing for other people thing. I kind of put my project on the back burner a little bit. And then that's when I got this offer to do my project and take it a little, I don't want to say more seriously, but have some, you know, help behind me and some push behind me. And that's kind of been my focus, is switching back to this EP and writing, you know, a ton of songs that didn't make the record. But it's been an incredible journey. And now here we are, May 30th, it's coming out. It's crazy. Amazing. Yeah, I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, please do. I know I think you sent me the cover art.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me check on these. I just want to make sure
of course.
We're good. We've never written, but the funniest thing you said to me was when we met, which I don't have to include this, but when we met, because I had seen you on so many dating apps.
Whoa, okay, not so many dating apps.
I'm sorry. I had seen you a number of times on the same dating apps. It's they were trying to get us to date.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And I try to not date musicians because you never know. I mean, sometimes you walk around this town. I've been here for 14 years. Sometimes I walk into a room and I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying to limit that.
You know what, too? Like I said, I've done a minimal amount of like dating out here, I would say, in Nashville. But most of the people I've met, which is kind of ironic because I said this earlier, tend to be from out of town. So I guess the nice thing about that is if things don't work out, I don't run into them at all.
Yes.
You know? But yeah, I can see 14 years is a long time. I think LA was like that for me too. But for the most part, you know, and every situation is different. But for the most part, I was cool with all my exes for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, it's not like there's any beef.
Yeah, but it's still like.
But it's like, I just think, you know, the saying, don't you know where you eat or whatever is true. And I don't swipe on musicians anymore because I just don't want to run into them and be like, oh gosh.
Yeah, it checks out.
Because 14 years is a long time and you date a lot of people when you're not married.
Yeah,
and, you know. Yeah. So anyway.
We're both single. Swipe right.
Oh, but the thing you said to me when we met. Okay,
what did I say?
You said, you said, and I feel like you said it.
Did I have a whiskey in my hand? Probably.
You were just like, and I don't have to include this, but you were just like, should we go out on a date or should we write or should we do both? And I was like, that is the most Nashville, like, nice to meet you I've ever.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was cute.
And listen, some dates don't have to be, at least for me, like super pressureful either. It's like you just go out and enjoy somebody's company and get to know somebody, and maybe there's a vibe there to hang out as more than friends. Maybe there's not.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, worst case scenario, we could see each other around and have a good, like, hey, nice to see you. And there, you know, still have that. So I try not to put too much pressure on the dating, even though my parents are putting that pressure on me.
Oh, I'm like, when I go out on a date, I'm like, is this going to be my husband or not? Right. It's awful. Like, it's like my subconscious, but I think I was like, I don't know. I feel like I was born to be married, but it has not worked out for me. Yeah. But so I always have that in my mind of like, where's my husband? And then it's like too much pressure. But
I mean, that's obviously the end goal, right? Like I definitely want that too. I guess I'm not putting the pressure on myself to be like, all right, you have to find her right now.
No, that's the way to do it. I mean, you're doing it correctly. I can't help my brain. But I try to just talk myself off the ledge. I'm like, it's too much pressure.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, but I thought that was really funny. And that was funny. A cool little show we were at.
I don't remember. What was it?
It was at Blueprint Cocktail.
Yeah, was that a CMA
DJs,
thing?
Dueling DJs or something.
Yeah, was it CMA Fest, like an after party for CMA Fest?
CMAs. Maybe it was CMAs.
Or the country, or was...
It was CMA Awards.
Yes, that's what it was. CMA Awards. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Have you done any like red carpets yet? For CMAs or like?
No, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Okay. No.
We need to get your.
This is the year. Yeah.
I haven't either, but I'm like, we need to get your.
Wait a second. Yeah.
You have a new EP. Like I should say that to myself, but
I'm excited. Hopefully, you know, this will be the first of many. This is the most important podcast I've been on, obviously, and the only one. So,
most important. Yeah.
It's true. But hopefully, you know, doing some more press and some more shows around the tour. I just got off of tour with Tyler Rich. I don't know if you know Tyler.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I wanted to ask you about that. So you were just on tour. Yeah.
We did like the East Coast and some Midwest shows. Mm-hmm. And we actually grew up not too far away from each other in Northern California. So kind of where we're at in Northern California, like Central Valley and north of that, it's like where John Party is from, Nate Smith.
Yeah.
Tyler, me, we're all kind of from the same kind of region of California. Mm-hmm. But Tyler and I had crossed paths playing like pop punk shows together, probably, 18 years ago, something like that, which is crazy. We were kids.
Yeah.
And to be full circle here in Nashville and then go on the road together, it's cool. I kind of keep seeing these, like my relationship with Katie, like these relationships kind of come full circle from over there to that. Even like we toured with this band and had the same management and label as this band called Boys Like Girls.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember them. I mean, they're incredible.
Yeah.
To this day, some just great friends of mine. Paul, who's a guitar player, he transitioned into country music. And I remember in LA, like my brother kind of helping him get his setup going and helping him with his mics and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now he's crushing it and doing all of Jordan Davis's songs. And Lily Rose's album.
That's so cool.
Incredible. He's done all Jordan stuff.
Paul Sykes?
His name's Paul DiGiovanni.
Oh my gosh. He's like one of my, like, he's like the producer you write down on, like, if I could work with anyone list.
Yeah. And he's, I mean, like I said, we were on the same label and same management. So we toured together a lot back in the day and became really good friends in LA. And now to see him crushing it, it's just so cool.
I love his style because I feel like he brings just like a different, cooler thing to country that it's not like straight ahead. You know?
I love it too. And I definitely think my stuff's kind of more in the vein of, Thomas Rhett and Jordan Davis kind of guys.
Yes. You have like a Jordan Davis thing.
Yeah. I love that. That's a huge compliment.
Like that song of his, What Makes My World Spin Round.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
there a better song? Like, I mean, there are better songs,
so
but
good.
maybe not. Like, that song is perfect.
Yeah, it's so good. And that'd be like my dream lineup. Like, if I could, like, as far as modern people right now, outside of like a Morgan Wallen, it would be like Sam Hunt, Thomas Rhett, Jordan Davis, me. That'd be like, for me, like, those are the guys I look up to. And, you know, I don't want to say I copy their style by any means. I definitely am doing my own thing. But those are guys that I listen to and enjoy their music. And I feel like that would be a good bill for me to be on. Would be something like that.
That's like a question I had for you. Is what is your dream lineup?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
awesome.
OG, we're talking about OGs. Like, grew up on 90s country. My mom had me pretty young, and she was blasting it all the time. But Alan Jackson obviously is like number one for the 90s stuff. And then even like older than that, my favorite country artist of all time is Marty Robbins. And he's old school, you know, but like have every album on vinyl. Which crazy is my EP cover was inspired by one of his album covers, Return of the Gunslinger. Okay. And if you'll notice it, you'll see some similarities in the coloring and the way that, you know, it's done. But huge Marty Robbins fans.
Oh, cool.
Alan Jackson. I mean, Garth Brooks, obviously, would be like, as far as the Mount Rushmore of artists I look up to. But
well, I definitely, like, I believe in kind of speaking things into existence.
Like
so I'm glad that you were just like Sam Hunt, Jordan
those
Davis.
Even like my parents, you know, they're so sweet, and they sent me like, hey, you need to watch this Luke Bryan documentary because he reminds us of you so much. So I watched it, and it was really inspiring and seeing where has come from and what he's doing now. And I got invited to do, he has like an official pre-party for his farm tour that he's doing. Yeah. So it's like just outside of the venue. It's kind of like when, you know, the parking lot type of stage set up there. So we're manifesting, you know, I'm playing the pre-party this year, and we're going to manifest that next year I'm sharing the main stage with him for a tour, for a show or something.
Definitely.
So, but it'll be cool. Yeah.
I mean, you have it. You have the stuff, and you're right in line with that music. So
thank you.
That's perfect.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I hope that happens. And then maybe you can do his Crash My Playa.
Yeah.
Let's get that one.
Now we're going, Should
I be your agent?
Yeah, please. I need PR, agent, like get me on the red carpets.
Well, it sounds like you have, so what, you have a team. You have your label. You have
I've
PR.
got a label. I've got a great marketing team, and I just don't take any of it lightly. Like, you know, as an artist, for years, I did it all myself. Managed myself. You know, wrote my music, had to deal with marketing.
Do you have management right now?
No management.
No management.
So I have no manager, which is crazy. I've been wanting one. I'm definitely at the point now where like I need some help management. And I'm just now starting to take a couple meetings.
Oh, good. Okay.
But, you know, there's people like sniffing around. But I want somebody who's just like so excited about me. And like, I don't care about how big they are or what artists they have. I just want somebody who's excited and believes in me. You know? So even though some of the bigger managers per se have been like asking questions and want to keep in touch here and there, I really want somebody who's excited about the project. So same with like not settling for a wife until I find somebody that's the right fit. Same with the manager, but crossing our fingers that happens here soon too.
I've always managed myself. I've always done everything myself, but I do feel like sometimes with managers, to let someone in that way, they have to be super into it because it's like a marriage. It's like a business marriage.
Totally, and you got to see it for the longevity of it too, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of flash in the pans for sure, but somebody that you can see really having a long, you know, fruitful career too. So I want to find somebody who believes in me.
Well, I'm sure you'll find them.
Thank you.
Okay, you've obviously worked with cool people, Sabrina Carpenter, all the bands you listed. Who's the biggest artist you've written for?
I mean, I think my biggest song so far came out last year. Is a song called Tough. It was with Lana Del Rey and Quavo from Migos, and that was such a cool, random. You hear stories like that of how a song got cut or how it got to this person's hands, and that one was pretty random too. So we were doing a writing camp for this artist named Maddox Batson, and at the time he didn't even have a single song out yet outside of like some covers. So we're doing a writing camp for him and writing a bunch of songs, and he would come in and he saw my camo pants I was wearing, and he'd go, "Man, those are tough, man. I like those a lot. Those are cool." And that was his word. He kept saying tough all the time. So we wrote on our song ideas, and I was like, all right, we're going to write you a song called Tough. Add it to the list. So basically, it was originally for Maddox, and there's some...
How are you all paired together?
Dude,
like, who was in the room?
It's just so random. So it was a handful of us. on that one, Jackson Free was a part of that one. He's crushing it with a bunch of Kane Brown songs and he's written so many hits. Josh Dorr, Nick Bailey, a handful of other writers in there too. It was writing camp, right? So it got a little tricky too, because some days you start a song with these 3 writers, and then the next day 3 other writers come in and finish the song. So it did get a little messy in the,
So it was a writing camp, and was it like, were you guys away and it was like different publishers coming together?
So Maddox, I believe he's from Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. So he was still in school at the time. So he would come to Nashville, usually on the weekends, and we'd write songs for him the entire weekend. And then he would drive back to Alabama with his parents. Great kid. His parents are so sweet. He's got his head on straight, and it's exciting to see what he's doing with his career. Yeah. But so we wrote, I think I wrote his first or second song that came out. It's called I Want to Know, that Maddox put out. And anyways, this song Tough, we finished it up one day, and we're sitting in the studio with Maddox's mother, and she was just like, you know what, this a little bit too mature for, my 13-year-old, 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
And I was like, totally understand it. We had talked about a 38 made out of brass, and some things that I totally understood that was probably too mature for a younger guy. But Lana was in Nashville the January before the song came out. So I think a year ago.
Lana as in Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. About a year ago, something like that. She was here in Nashville, and we had gotten together and was just kind of playing her some songs. And, we had a past relationship and stuff, but we're still cool. And often I would just have a guitar and we'd just be jamming songs just for fun. And I played her the chorus for that one, and she asked what it was. And I explained that we had written it for this artist who wasn't going to use it. And she liked it. And so I get a call about a week later from Jack Antonoff. And I had been friends with Jack through Lana just, during COVID and stuff. So mostly just FaceTime and stuff. So we had, an acquaintanceship at least. So he called me, FaceTimed me, and said, hey, Lana loves the song. Are you cool if we work on this together? And I was like, yeah, are you kidding me? Of course. So I called all the other songwriters, and I don't think they believed it at first. They were just like, wait, hold on. This song that we wrote for Maddox, Lana wants to cut it. And of course they were like, go for it. Go to LA, go to Jack's studio. And this was crazy too, full circle again too. Walking into Jack's studio, Sabrina Carpenter comes out of the studio. So they had just worked together, probably doing Please, 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 or one of those. And it was cool to catch up with her for a second and be like, do you remember me playing guitar for you? And it's just cool.
Did she remember you?
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
yeah. So that was a cool full circle moment too, as we were walking in to go work on that record. And then it's Grammy weekend, and Lana was with Quavo, and Quavo was listening to a handful of songs. So we'd written a few other songs here in Nashville for her record, or just to write some songs. And Quavo heard that chorus for Tough, and basically was like, hey, I want to get on this with you. So that's how it came to be, which is so crazy to go from Maddox to Lana, and it was kind of more in Lana's style. Yeah. To all of a sudden, not just Jack Antonoff involved, Andrew Watt and Circuit end up getting on the track too. So it was just a crazy journey of, playing this song for her in my bedroom, and then going to her, to Jack, to Circuit, to Andrew Watt, and then it coming out last summer. It was just...
That's insane.
It was insane.
So why was Quavo with Lana, and how...
Dude,
they're buddies?
Lana was a huge fan of Migos. Listen to Migos all the time, and we had talked before, she said that was one of her dream collaborations, was working with them. Oh, so they obviously crossed paths during the Grammys, and had talked about it and heard some songs, and then they ended up doing the music video for it together, and it was just crazy. So
cool.
So random. But that's Nashville and entertainment for you too. It's you just don't know. Yeah. But crazy story.
Yeah, you have I don't know what it is, a good juju around you or something.
I'm hoping.
But that is really crazy, and I guess that's how it happens. It's always somebody and then dots connect. Yeah, and there's been opportunities too where I've missed out on being in a room. One of our good friends was one of the writers for Forever and Ever, Amen, obviously for George Strait, and he didn't want to come to the session that day, and his friends were like, no, you should come, we got this great idea. And they kind of dragged him to the session, and they ended up writing this song, right? That's obviously a legendary song. So you hear stories like that, and it also makes me not want to miss out on writing sessions either.
or if I'm not feeling up for it one day, it's like, man, this could be the one that could change things for you, and you just don't know it.
It's almost like part of the dread or something is like the knowing that you just have to show up.
Yeah.
Shane McAnally is one of my favorite songwriters. Yeah. I've listened to podcasts on him, and he's said like you just have to show up. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter how you feel or
That's what my gym trainer says too. He's like, you just got to show up at the gym. That's all you got. That's the hardest part, getting out of bed and going to the gym.
Yeah.
But same with the writing sessions, right? Like the hardest part is just showing up sometimes.
Definitely.
I mean, especially, you can get burned out when you're writing 3, 4, 5 times a week. Yeah. And you're trying to come up with fresh ideas and writing with different people. It can be exhausting, especially like for me, like I write from a place of knowing and from an emotional state. So it's emotionally draining too, to put yourself out there and to write and to have those feelings and things too, especially recording vocals for me is kind of coming from the acting world too. It's like really channeling what I felt when I was writing these lyrics and really letting myself feel that when I'm recording. And that's exhausting.
Sarah, who was here last time, we used to live together, and Sarah was on the podcast last time. And we lived together, and I remember every time after I'd come home from a write, it was like so physically draining.
Yeah, totally.
Like physically. And I couldn't explain it, but I'm like, I just feel like it's this whole thing. Writing is this whole thing that takes a lot out of me, but there's always like a payoff.
Yeah.
But I find that sometimes the tricky part, I don't know if you've experienced this, because I feel like you're pretty sure about your sound, but you have dabbled in a lot of different sounds and genres. I kind of hate how music artists aren't allowed to be artists the way that actors are, where it's like you want someone with range in acting. When someone has range in acting, they're kind of held in a higher regard, and I feel like in music, it's... people make it a bad thing. And
totally.
like for me, my dream scenario would be to put out a pop country record and then do a song with Drake. Like that would be my dream,
totally. Love it. Yeah.
And I've always been that way, and I always felt like my shifting genres, it's always been looked at as a problem. And I don't know, have you run into that with the music you're doing now, or do you feel the need to kind of put borders around what you're currently making, or do you feel flexible?
Yeah, with my other projects, like I had like a little rap project with Sky from LMFAO, and I was like writing with him and Swayze, and like it was a fun project. It started as a joke and kind of turned into something, and then I had my pop punk phase for a little bit, and I love all that music and I loved doing it, but country is always where I have felt home. It's where I feel the most me. It's where I feel the way I grew up, and just everything is just, it feels right, and it feels who my true self is. So now, like, I try not to think too much about genre. I just try to be true to myself and my sound, and I think organically it comes out leaning more country. Obviously, it's more pop country, than it is like traditional country. But for me, I'm just trying to be true to myself, my stories, and to my sound, and I think it just happens organically for me, at least.
And I feel like the producer has a lot to do with it too.
Totally.
Do you find yourself nowadays writing more to tracks, or do you feel like you start something and then bring it in?
A lot. So the producer I worked on this record with, this guy named Chris Ganudis. He always yells at me because I say it wrong. It's Ganudis, but I say Ganudis. But he's an incredible producer who also happens to be Katie's boyfriend. And Katie did all the vocal production. She's incredible with vocals. But when we go in, usually I have an idea and spit it out to the crew. And there's usually one that they're like, oh, that's gave me goosebumps. Like, let's work on that one. And a lot of times, just a guitar. And we'll start building a track a little bit. But Katie and I work where we, really hone in on melodies and stuff first before we really dive too much into production. And the production kind of follows our melodies and stuff, if that makes sense. But we have this great dynamic where Katie and I really start diving into the melodies and lyrics, and Chris kind of hearing what we're doing and kind of starts subtly building and slowly building around what we are writing to. So I feel really lucky to have the crew that I do that's been able to really help me find my sound. From working with Kevin Bard to Chris now, like it's all, I feel like, in the same realm of the music, but I feel like, I've grown a lot in my music as well as just growing a lot as a man. And I feel like that speaks through some of the more mature themes and melodies and stuff that are in this new record. So
that's really cool. I always feel like for me, it's harder to bring a track in, and sometimes production that doesn't just start with a band in a room. Like, it's harder for me to accept the production after the song's been written but if I start the song with the track, it's more seamless because there's not a lot of options. It just is.
And there's no right or wrong way, right? It's whatever works best for you. And, but I did hear, when I first came to Nashville, I wrote with Drew Baldridge, who's having an amazing year. And, we talked about it. Like, if you can't write a great song on just an acoustic guitar, is it a great song? So I really lean into that too, really writing to just, a stripped down acoustic and build maybe like a really subtle track around it just for vibes or something. But, I think, especially that's why I love Nashville too, is the emphasis on good storytelling and songwriting is unlike anywhere I've ever been before. It's inspiring. It's also intimidating. You go to writers' rounds and you hear these amazing songwriters and artists. Yeah. And then you start having imposter syndrome. Like, am I that good? I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be doing this.
Even when I'm looking at Instagram, it's like, oh my God.
I know it. So try to block out all that. Try to not even look at numbers.
It's usually just nighttime when that's where something happens to my brain at night. Yeah. So, okay. So I I want to always end the podcast with like a shout out of like fellow artists. You've already shouted out quite a few people, Katie, producer, songwriter, like people that are up and coming that you just to kind of, I just think it's like a nice.
Sure. I mean, one immediately stands out. I met this kid. He was just putting out covers online and he came to the US and we wrote with him. He was a really quiet, timid kid. And we ended up writing, he wrote with a bunch of people, and I ended up writing with Katie and Chris, coincidentally, his first single, and his artist named Gareth, who's incredible. His career's taken off now. He's doing arena tours with Kip Moore overseas right now. Gosh. He's from Ireland, and he's just an amazing vocalist, and he's really coming into himself as an artist. It's just been really cool to see the growth. But we wrote a song for him called What You Don't Know. He just did a song with Shay from Dan and Shay that he wrote. And he's an incredible artist. So check him out. Shout out my man, Gareth.
Okay.
He's amazing. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you?
Find me outside of Hinge, apparently. You can find me on Instagram at Claywatch.
Or on Hinge.
On Hinge, swipe right. Or YouTube, Spotify, under my real name. A lot of people ask me if it's a fake name.
People always ask me the same thing. Is it your stage name? I'm like, it's my name.
It's my name. So check me out, Clayton Johnson.
In my